Hey everyone, welcome to a video for Epic Spell Wars of the Battle Wizards. Any games from this series will contain explicit content, gore, sexual content, violence, language, all the bad stuff that you're not supposed to like or enjoy. So if that stuff offends you, please turn off the video now. Again, there is a warning for awesome, mature content and profanity. Any of these videos in this series will have these. There's no way around it in showing off the content. Therefore, again, if this stuff offends you at any point or before you watch the video, please turn it off rather than complain about it. That is your final warning. Thank you. Bye. Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to another Epic Spell Wars video. As always, just that small disclaimer of there might be content in here that might offend you. That's the nature of the game. If you're hopefully checking out weird expansions for this and add-ons, you already know what this is. So what this is the Egregious Ephemeral Volume 2. So this is our second storage promotional spellbook holders. So we have our first one, which is the Magnus and Minions Manual Volume 1. Really looks cool sitting next to each other. Big, giant book-looking things. So this was originally from Gen Con, came out, now it's available in the Cryptozoic web store. I don't know how many extra copies are, it's like a promo thing, so yeah, you definitely want to check it out. Yes, we got a little symbol on the back, we got a pipe sticking out, we got a demon bookmark. A couple of the pages, on the top we have, oh, here it says this is wizarding pipe goes along, we have like a smoke wizard, that's kind of fun. Alright, so what is in here? Is it worth it to get it? That's what we were here to check out today. So this thing is going to serve two purposes. One, you're going to get some promo cards. And promo material. So you want more content for the game, you're going to probably want to pick this up. Whether that content is enough that makes you feel like you want to pick it up, that's up to you. Each individual person. Some of it's kind of odd how it is too, so we'll get into that one. The second thing is it has storage space. The first one, if I hop back over and look at this, so our first purple book, zoom down a little bit. This was meant to hold all of our oversized Wizard Champion cards, and then like our other deck cards. So we have like our spell books and we have our different familiars over here. Obviously you can see mine's getting pretty darn full. I sleeve mine, so again, that's part of it. The spellbooks are obviously less than this because there's not a spellbook currently for every single character. There's just about a familiar for every character. There's still a few that we're missing, I believe. But yeah, so basically I'm pretty much full on this. So luckily, personally, I bought a second one so I can have enough to start doing it. So I might actually separate something to one, something to the other at some point. But that's what the first book was for. It's meant to hold all your oversized wizard cards. And that. This one is meant to hold tokens. Now, there is a giant caveat to that. It's meant to hold, I had to look this up because they didn't really talk about it much on the store page. There wasn't a whole lot of communication during the Kickstarter on the Epic Spell Wars forum page about it. But I did find Board Game Geek, one of the creators from Cryptozoic came in, or people who working for Cryptozoic came in and said, it is meant mainly to hold promotional material. So, and then when you bought the first spellbook, you got, one of the cards that was the Choo Choo Train. I don't remember the exact name of it, but he had little extra tokens. You might have gotten some extra promotional tokens from this box. You're going to get some extra promotional things here and there, maybe just some of the extra Kickstarter stuff. And that's what it's designed to hold, or just some of your extra content. The idea is that it's not meant to hold every single base game component. So, if we open it up in here, we have a bunch of different slots. Let's see if I can get a little bit better angle on this. So yeah, we have a big giant space. We can hold pretty much whatever you would like. Some people recommended maybe they threw in their badges of tokens. in there, like maybe the nacho chips or this or that. The small one is meant to hold regular standard size cards. It'll hold them very nice if they're sleeved. This one they kind of says maybe hold like HP tokens. So what's nice about this is because this could be used for your deck building game, the Annihilating, or this could be used for regular Epic Spell Wars. All the cards in here are the promotional cards, are all for Epic or for the Annihilating deck building game. But you could use them for the spell crafting. Put all your HP tokens in here. You could dump your various other different tokens here. We'll look at some of the stuff that we have in just a moment. But yeah, you can add some different tiles and things like that. And that could definitely just give you the extra room for maybe some of that, especially the spell building one, because you have just a cards. And there's not a lot of others. There's only a couple of handful of tokens here and there. And we'll look at that in just a moment. Before we get too much more into that, I want to look at what cards we have. See what cool new content. So we're going to look at this. First of all, we have 5 copies, so 1 for each player. We have a brand new starting glyph card, which are always fun. And we get in a bunch of these promos. You give us alternate ones. And these are cards you could keep in there. You can keep all your promo ones off to the side, keep all your regular starters together. Then if you decide you want to switch out, I can open up my second box. It all depends on how you do it. I just keep all my cards together in the one big giant box. But we have the Switcheroo Glyph, which gives you +1 power, and then it has a play ability. It says, put this into target, or action ability. Put this into target foe's discard pile, then put another starter card from their discard pile into your hand. Replaces one of your starter glyphs. This is kind of neat. So basically you're giving them this, but then you're stealing one of their starter cards. Now again, depending on what starter cards you have, this could be a little bit better than other ones. It's also just nice you play it once, you get 1 power, you just steal one of their cards, and then now you can play that and have an extra power as well. Cool. And then we also have 5 copies of the other new starter card, Hungry Glyph, which is +1 power. Activate this. Pay 10 or 20 HP, then gain 1 power for every 10 HP you paid. So you can either get 10 or 20. So depending on where your health is at, you could gain more or less. Again, this could be one you could always swap in there and steal from somebody else as well. So that's pretty cool. So we're going to get those couple of things. Then the next thing we're going to get is we're going to get some tokens. First of all, we're going to get this big giant tongue. Double-sided tongue. This has a special ability. Then we're going to get 3 brand new ability tokens, which are always fun to get more of these, as well as 6 new Dead Wizard tokens, which are all -3V. 3 VP each. So the Dead Wizard tokens, I'm not going to pull all of them out right now because they're all the exact same. They are magnetic. Gain all other revealed magnetic tokens. End of the game. If you have 4 or more magnetic tokens, they are worth positive VP instead of negative VP, and we'll have 6 of them total. So this is kind of a neat little mechanic or gimmick, I guess, because it's like, if you reveal one and you get that first, nothing matters. Second person gets one, nothing really matters. All of a sudden now you'll have 2 of them. Third person gets it, they'll have 3. It's after the 4th person gets one, all of a sudden, boom. Now they're going to have positive instead. So at the beginning it's going to be -3. Then the second guy gets it, crap, now he has -6. Third guy's going to have -9. But when the 4th one gets it, he's going to have +12. So that could be a big shift finding these amongst all the rest of the tokens. And then on top of that is if you end up getting the 5th or 6th one, you can have a lot more, 15, 18 different things. So I did want to kind of look at some of our other tokens here. Because somebody did mention they were kind of easy to tell apart. I just wanted to see if you can. So that's the magnetic one. And that's that. So there is a slightly darker outside ridge to it. So I just want to grab some from one of the other series. So this is a nacho one. Yeah, even that has a slightly different tinge to it. So if I kind of zoom all 3 of these up, They're all kind of slightly different things. This one's actually rounded on the outside, where these ones are rounded on that side. So that makes a difference as well. So yeah, that's just something someone pointed out. Again, this one's flat on that side, so, but it's a little bit darker shade. But I don't think it's that much of a big of a difference that if you're just blindly grabbing them from a pile you have face down, great. If you think it's gonna be that big of an issue, I would say then you should probably just throw them into a bag and pull them out that way. That would be my thought there. Alright, then we have some ability tiles. Alright, so we have ability tiles. Replace any of your 2 starter cards with any 2 starter cards from outside the game. This is kind of neat. This is another neat action or ability card that lets you... Basically, you're gaining benefits from owning either A, multiple Annihilageddon games. If you own all 3 of them, 1, 2, and 3, then plus all the promos, you have a lot more different starter cards. You have a couple more different starter cards you can play around with. So you could all of a sudden be playing Satanic Panic, and you could pull out the Nacho one, be the only person that has a Nacho one in the game, unless you're mixing and matching. And that just gives you some other different options. So that's pretty cool. Our next one we have is, well, you have either no cards in your deck or no cards in your discard pile. You cannot be attacked. Very limited when this is going to happen, but a deck building game is you're going to have times when you draw the last card of your deck and you don't reshuffle until you have to draw more. So you might be able to time that out right, or as soon as you do run out of cards and you have to draw one, then your discard pile is empty. So until you basically, like, if you happen in between a turn, you might end up, hey, I had to draw my last card, or I had to draw more cards from my deck, reshuffle my discard pile. Now you have an empty card. As long as you don't play anything else after that, you can go around without getting attacked. It's not going to hit all the time, but you could probably maybe plan on or play less cards if it might help you survive an extra turn. So it's a pretty fun ability. And then the last one we have is an action ability. Move your tongue tokens. That's this big guy here. That's what we have him for. Move the tongue token in the lineup. If that card leaves the lineup, return the tongue token to you. Cards in the lineup with your tongue token cost -1 on your turn and +3 on your opponent's turn. Obviously, this is supposed to represent, like, if you're like when kids would be like, I'm gonna lick this bun so that nobody else will eat it. That's the idea of this. Is you're licking a card, and then anyone else that really wants it is gonna have to, like, suffer for it. They have to pay 3 extra. Otherwise, it makes yours a little bit cheaper. So this kind of it's kind of a neat mental game too, because you could lick something. Let's say there's like a 5 cost card. Great, now it costs 4 for you. Awesome, you can get your cards a little bit cheaper, or it's a powerful card that's gonna make your opponent harder. Or you could try and trick people and be like, oh look, here's this 2 cost card. Someone's going to be like, oh, he must really need that for something. I'm going to spend 5 to buy that now instead. And he just like, nah, I didn't really need it. I just want to make you have to waste your 5 points buying a cheapy 2 cost card, instead of buying another better 5 card cost that you might have really wanted. Or it might pull them away from the card that you really wanted. So it might be more beneficial for you to spend 5 versus 4 than have someone think that's the card you want and steal it. So it could be a fun little mental game there. Alright, then the last 2 promo cards we have are 2 new spellbooks. So we have the Bone Tome. This is for Papa Boner Voodoo King. So you got his Black Mamba there and his voodoo hat. And then the other one, before I read that, let's go to we have Typhoon, Master of Mayhem. So what's interesting about both of these is because if you pick this up and you just have the deck building games in Annihilageddon, these aren't necessarily not useful to you, but they're not going to be as cool to have, because these guys were both part of the Gangbangers Kickstarter exclusive box set. So if you didn't pick up that box set, you wouldn't have these 2 characters. Now you can still use them, mix them, action to any other character. You can give any other character you're playing as any spellbook. And if you're just playing as the character and the spellbook, then it doesn't really matter. The only time it's going to make kind of a difference is thematically, or if you're playing with the familiars, which again, if you were using the familiars, you would have, there we have these two guys here. We'll just show them off quick. Yeah, so if you're playing as these guys, which are also listed as promo, and you had their two familiars, but there again would have been part of the set with them. So if you have them, then you have the familiars. The familiars work really well with the spellbooks. And we'll look at that in just a second here. I wish I knew where my other easel went. I'll check here in a second. Let's see what this one does. So we have, choose a dead wizard token from outside the game and attach it to this. Ooh. Ongoing, this is a copy of the dead wizard token. This is kind of neat. This could give you a lot of extra abilities. Kind of like pulling that starter card out. Giving you other options that other players don't have is kind of fun. And then we have the Mighty Mayhem Manual. Ongoing, after a Mayhem resolves attack, deal 5 damage to each foe. Activate, return this card to your unpurchased area. You may buy it again to avoid a Mayhem or group attack. So this is kind of cool, because you can bounce it back to your hand and play it again to avoid a Mayhem or a group attack that might affect you. Otherwise, you can leave it out, and every time one resolves, each foe takes 5 damage. So that's a really fun little extra mechanic there. Alright, just want to do a quick check here. So these two cards do not come with this, but you want to see what this does. So, Papa Moore says, choose a dead wizard token outside the game, attach it to this. And that's a copy of that dead wizard token. So, his familiar kind of works with it. Gives you +3 power. Says, if this is in your discard pile and you gain a dead wizard token, peek at another in the supply. You may gain that token instead. Defense, avoid this attack, draw a card. If you do, redirect the attack of the effect of the attacker. Yeah, so there's in your discard pile and you would gain a dead wizard token. Peek at another in the supply. You may gain that token instead. So yeah, as long as this is in your discard pile, so you can discard this to avoid attacks. And then you can gain dead wizard tokens. And this kind of benefits from having dead wizard tokens. And then you can kind of choose which one. And this just gives you also another copy of the dead wizard token. So they don't really necessarily super synergize. They're both playing with dead wizard tokens, but they're not like immediately synergizing. And then Mayhem is all about playing the Mayhem stuff. So his says, +3 defense, discard just to avoid an attack, then draw a card. If you avoided a Mayhem, each foe loses 1 HP for each other Mayhem in the destroyed pile. So this is kind of fun too. Just doing, again, not necessarily super synergistic. Which is after a Mayhem is done, deal 5 damage. This one's going to be then, if you avoided the Mayhem, hey look, you can use this to avoid the Mayhem. Each foe loses 1 HP for each other Mayhem in the destroy pile. This is going to keep letting you potentially do that again. Return this card to your hand, buy it again for 3. Now you're ready to discard that to avoid that. And then you just have your Mayhem Elemental you have to keep finding as well. So it's a little bit harder combo to come across, but it is definitely doable. Alright, so those are our cool new cards. We got two new starter glyphs, 3 new ability tiles, some new dead wizard tokens, and 2 more spellbooks. Alright, so then what we wanted to look at is we wanted to take a look at what we could do with this. So I don't have every idea necessarily, but one thing they did mention was, I did see in there, they mentioned the ability tiles could go in these slots. Down in here. Now, here's my problem with it, is they're very tight to fit in there. So you could fit a couple in there, but fitting a ton in there, I don't think is a good idea. Someone else did mention dropping them in there. They do work as well. But I want to point out, again, this is why this won't work for every single thing. So if I grab every single ability tile, which is from all the Annihilageddon games out there, this is our stack. So this is not going to fit in there. It definitely won't fit in there. Now, I did these guys fell down. I did do this. I did try this to see if you put them up like this. You could drop these guys in here. Drop a few more in there. I can maybe get one more in there. And then I could put these guys on top. And it actually fits pretty well. But it doesn't add my three brand new ones. So, depending on how many you have, this may or may not work for you. And that's, it's not really a giant pain to get these out, but it's doable. So it is a possible option. Again, it just, some of this, anytime you're talking storage, sometimes it just depends on what you all own or what you have. One other thing we have is, if you're playing with regular Epic Spell Wars, a shuffle building game, let me back this up a little bit more. You have the panic tokens here, not the panic. Why can't I think of what these are from? But you have these tokens. You can drop those in there or in here. You have the little sack for them. Those would work. You also have like the standees for the classroom one. You could drop these guys in here somewhere. They could go in there. You could put these guys in here, leave them in there. This is in different areas. Here is our train from the previous one. If you want some of your extra tokens, you could drop those guys in one of those slots. So there's a couple of different things there. You could put some of your other tokens. These guys drop right in there from some of that stuff. They did say all the health tokens you could drop inside that one, and then you could just, these guys pull up pretty easy. Now, it's hit or miss on whether you need to do that, because yes, you're going to accumulate a lot of health tokens if you own every single deck builder and spell building game, but generally, the most you're going to play is what, 4, 6 players? So you probably don't need that many. Same thing kind of with the dice. Every spell building game, you get all these different dice. Or if you have the game bangers, you do have the special dice. You can keep those in there as well. But you probably don't need to have every single die necessarily set aside. And then we have so many other different tokens. So they did mention possibly putting in Dead Wizard tokens into one of these slots. I think originally they said put it into this hole down here, but again, if you only own a couple, maybe that's fine, but once you start owning all of them, even if you try setting them all in there, you're not going to fit them all in here, because this is, I think this is just from 3, because there's like the double ones as well, which I probably don't need to mix and match, but I think this is just from Satanic Panic, and I might be able to get all those in there, but you also have the Beezle buttholes. You have the hot goo tokens. So this is just my tokens from set 3. So like I might be able to put some here, some there. Like you could put these guys, they could be dropped into here laying down. They might be kind of a pain to pick up. The only problem with this is that openings. If you don't have a stack of cards here, if you have a deck of cards there, we could probably drop whatever you want in there. But this is just the tokens from 3. And then we have all the ones from set 1 and 2 as well. So there's not enough to do them again. Maybe if you had a stack of cards in there. I just want to see. I got too much stuff here. So if I grab a stack of cards out of my other binder here, to just act as a barrier, you could probably dump all your Dead Wizard tokens in there, and then obviously if you have like your familiars or whatever in here, or maybe you just put all your mayhem cards in here, right? You just have all the mayhem cards stacked in here. That's a possibility too. And then like, hey, I need to pull it out. I have all my mayhem card deck here. I have all my tokens. I could dump all these guys in here, put some of the other special ones in some of these areas. Again, like hot goo could possibly just stand in one of these spots. I have to turn it sideways. Bezeezle's buttholes could stand up in there. You definitely dump all your tokens in here and then just, I gotta reach in and grab one. There's a possibility as well. Again, there's endless amounts of different things you can do. Lots of it is based on the amount of games you have or how you want to do it. I'm going to pull all of these back out. Like I also said, though, earlier in the video, you could use them for... We have nacho chips. You could dump some of them in one of these things as well. You know, I have the plastic ones. You could dump all the plastic ones in one of these holes. You know, if you have your nacho chips, or even just the cardboard ones, if you have them. Yeah, I have both. Of course I have both, right? Otherwise, you can always do it more for just the epic Spell Wars stuff. The spell building stuff. Spell crafting. You have all your last wizard standing tokens, which have, some of them have 1 point on the back. Some don't, depending on which version you have. You could dump all those in one of the trays. The set 6 here, instead of having dead wizard cards, you could dump all your dead wizard cards in here for the spell crafting game. And then having your new one has all your dead wizard tokens, which you could dump out into here. And now you have all your dead wizard tokens ready to go. That's always an option. Like, use and then put all your health points in there. Add any extra special things you have, like your badge. You have all our standees. We have all our points here, so you can dump all your points in there instead. Your experience points. You can dump all the, and just have one of these cases be just for the spell crafting game. And then keep all your deck building stuff together in a different one. So yeah, a couple of different options there. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to show that off. I don't think there is necessarily a right or wrong way. Again, one of the people from the company says this idea is just to be for like promotional stuff. So again, I could be putting all my just my promotional stuff from the other box, from here, from my Kickstarter stuff. Put all those different characters in here. You know, if you were part of the Fantastic Friends membership, you could drop some of that stuff in here as well. So yeah, plenty of different options based on however you want to do it. So then the last thing I just want to show off, which isn't with this exactly, but it is adjacent, because I have been kind of showing it, was how I store all my stuff. I'm sure I've showed this off in other videos, but we're going to show it off again anyways. I was pulling all these little trays, and you might be wondering. So I picked up this at Hobby Lobby. Now, I do want to add another little caveat to that. Is, although I picked this up at Hobby Lobby, I have bought several of these, and I've mixed and matched different components. But I love about these is they come with these little tiny cups in here. Usually what they do is they come with, I think, this particular style here comes with 2 big long ones, 1 square one. I think it comes with 3 of the small ones, and then 1 that's actually a double tray. And I might even be wrong on that. It might only come with 1 of these, and it might come with 6 of these and 1 double tray. It might come with a little bit different orders. But I've had to buy different stuff to get these to fit how I want. And this ain't even necessary. I'm going to finally do this because I just dumped all my 3s and 4s, and I might mix some of them up in here. Because I do have, like, gangbanger ones in here, which obviously look different. I have all my nacho ones. I have some secret ones in there. So, I might need to rearrange some of this a little bit later. But I love these because the idea is if I want my Satan tokens, you're playing a Satan, you can just pick up the Satan thing. You're playing with nachos, grab your nacho thing. And again, I can maybe get a smaller one for that and separate some out. Same thing if I'm playing epic shuffle building, spell crafting. I can grab my little tokens out. Then the other nice thing about this is it comes with another piece that goes on top. So I'm actually going to do is I'm going to drop my magnetic tokens in there. I'm just going to throw this. We'll hang on to that for a sec. So then it has a little tray that actually slides up here on top, which then I dropped all my ability tiles in. And I just have these already. Now they don't quite lay 100% flat like that, so you might have to stack them. Look, I have more than enough room in there for those. I have all my dice over here. I have my sacks. I have my standees for that. I have my extra little things there. I have all my hit points. Some extra ones here, which I can just kind of throw out the extra random ones up there. So I throw the tongue up there. And I really like that. Fits everything really nice. And again, this is like setup stuff. And then down here is stuff that you're actively going to maybe use during the game. So I can, oh, I only need a couple of these. I can pull some of these out. And I might even swap some of these out for the smaller ones. You know, or maybe put them all into a bag and play with all of them. You could do either way. Have game 1, game 2, game 3, game, and then deck building 1, 2, 3, and then game bangers. You can have one thing for each one. So depending on which version you want to play, oh, I can just grab this stuff. Just grab these. So it's kind of a neat little way to do that. I love doing these for watching my games. And on the top, because there's a little bit of extra gap up there, is we threw the big old Satan hand up there, and that flops on there. And this is just called the storage case. They do make other ones of this style, which is little cups that are just one, like a 2-row long one. They have another one that it's a lot wider, but it's only 1 row deep. It doesn't have the extra, neither of the other two have the extra tray. I like having the extra tray just for some other random stuff. But yeah, they're definitely kind of nice. They're not even that expensive. What about it for $8? Definitely not a bad thing. Alright, so that's what we have for our Egregious Ephemeral Epic Spell Wars Volume 2. Hope this helps you guys decide whether or not it's something you'd like to pick up or not. See you guys later. Bye.